Hello? 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 All right, so we are gonna have 40 laps at Daytona International Speedway, 34 cars.
Drivers, to your cars.
Okay, so starting on pole, we have Carson Hocevar. Um, okay, it's paused, good. Okay, so starting on pole, we have Carson Hocevar, the number 77 Auto Group Ziegler Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beside him, we have Jeff Gordon in the number 24 AARP Drive to End Hunger Exalta Chevrolet Monte Carlo. In the second row, we have Bobby Labonte in the Interstate Batteries Pontiac Grand Prix. Beside him is Ryan Blaney in the number 21 Ford Motorcraft Ford Taurus. Row 3, we have Ryan Newman in the Altel Dodge Intrepid. Beside him is Mark Martin, number 6 Ford Taurus Valvoline Ford Taurus. Next row, we have the number 16 of Greg Biffle, sponsored by 3M, Science Applied to Life Ford Taurus. And beside him is the number 25 of Chase Elliott in the Napa Monte Carlo. Next row, we have Jimmy Johnson, the Lowe's for Pros Monte Carlo. Beside him is Casey Kane in the number 9 Dodge Dealers Dodge Intrepid. Next, we have Clint Boyer in the number 33 Cheerios Chevrolet. Beside him is Kyle Busch in the number 8 M&M's Chevrolet. Now we have Sterling Marlin in the number 40 Kodak Dodge, next to Denny Hamlin in the number 11 FedEx Express Pontiac Grand Prix. Next, we have Martin Truex Jr. in the number 78 Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet, next to Tony Stewart in the Office Depot Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beside him, or behind them, is Christopher Bell in the number 20 Rheem Pontiac Grand Prix, next to Rusty Wallace in the number 2 Mobil 1 Ford Taurus. Next row, we have Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Ford Taurus, and beside him, we have Tyler Reddick in the number 45 Jordan Pontiac Grand Prix. Next row, we have the 43 of Richard Petty, the King, in the STP Dodge Intrepid, and beside him is the number 97 of Kurt Busch in the Sharpie Ford Taurus. Next up, we have the 5 of Terry Labonte in the Kellogg's Corn Flakes Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beside him, we have Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Mountain Dew Monte Carlo. And next up, we have his father, Dale Earnhardt Sr. in the Good Ranch Service Plus Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beside him is Jamie McMurray in the number one Cessna Textron Aviation Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And next up we have Carl Edwards, the 99 Aflac Ford Taurus, and beside him is the number 15 of Michael Waltrip in the Aaron's Dream Machine Monte Carlo. Next up, we have Kyle Larson in the 42 Chevrolet Monte Carlo presented by Target. Beside him, it's number 94 of Bill Elliott in the McDonald's Ford Taurus. Now we have Matt Kenseth in the number 17 DeWalt machine. And beside him is Brad Keselowski in the Castrol Edge BuildSubmarines.com Ford Taurus. And finally, to round up the field, we have Joey Logano in the number 22 Pennzoil Shell Ford Taurus.
Drivers, to your...
Now, green flag in the air. Let's go racing at Daytona. Carson Hocevar brings them to the green flag. And immediately we have free wide racing as they come to turn one. Hocevar with the lead with a push from Bobby Labonte, number 18. And already four wide, and they're wrecking. Are they going to save it? No, they don't. They're going to wreck at the back. Multiple cars. Terry Labonte goes on his roof. Tyler Reddick spins out. Brad Keselowski's involved. And we have a caution here. What on earth just happened? These guys are very aggressive, and they already wrecked. And one car that went on his roof was the number 5 of Terry Labonte. So let's get a better angle of this. As you can see, they got very jumbled up here, mid-pack or towards the back of it. And so let's see what happened. You can see they're pushing, they're shoving. Greg Biffle and Clint Boyer go off the track, come back onto the track, and from there everyone just has nowhere to go, not enough room, and it's just chaos. Multiple cars, Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, Tyler Reddick, all involved in that wreck. There's the pace car coming out. Brad Keselowski was in it. Richard Petty has damage. Dale Jr. Kyle Larson got a piece of it. Bill Elliott, heavy damage to the front end of that car. Michael Waltrip. Oh, and they're wrecking here as well. Oh, wow. Multiple cars. What is going on here? Okay, so this started somewhere back here. Let's get a helicopter view of this. Oh, they're pushing, they're shoving, and from there it's just chaos. They jumble up there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, oh boy. Those were some hard hits there. Still a bit unsure of how that even happened. Essentially, it was just a push gone wrong. So let's go on board here. Get the roof view from. Let's go with Ryan Blaney. He was the one shoving Ryan Newman. Yeah, let's go back to that previous incident, the one that happened in the first place. We'll get that from the helicopter cam as well. So Ryan Blaney was ahead of all that. Let's go ahead and get it from the view of Jamie McMurray, who is back here. We're going to go ahead, get on the roof view from his car. You can see from here that everyone is just jumbled up. There's no room at all They were just way too tight, way too close together. Let's go back and see from another driver. Let's go on board with Kevin Harvick, see how he's You know what? Let's go on board with 5 because he's the one who flipped over. So we have to go. Oh, there he is. So you can see here that Clint Boyer and Greg Biffle, they're way off the track. They're on the apron. Just sits upside down and on his roof. And oh man, that is a mess. That is so unfortunate for these guys. Multiple cars are involved in this wreck. The 17 is out, the 5, the 40, the 1. So Matt Kenseth out, Terry Labonte out, Sterling Marlin, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, all are out of this race. I'm not sure what happened to Jeff Gordon, so let's go ahead and see what happened to him. So Jeff Gordon. So you can see here, he was at the front of all this, managed to get through. Was he involved in that later incident as we were exiting turn 4? Let's see here. Oh, right, he was. He was the one that got squished into the wall, so it didn't seem like he took too much damage there, but I guess he did take a lot of damage. Anyway, we're getting ready to go back under green. Rusty Wallace is leading the field here, and the pace car lights are off. We're going to go to the spectator view. Here they are on the backstretch. So only 5 laps into this 40-lap race, and we are already missing quite a lot of cars. Nearly 10 cars DNF'd in that race. That is a lot of cars that had a good shot. And Bill Elliott in the 94, he's 100% going to be very slow on the restart. He took a lot of damage from that earlier wreck. And now here they come out of turn 4. Pace car is going to come off, and we're going to go back green. And we're going to keep our eyes on Martin Truex Jr. Actually, let's keep it on Bill Elliott, because he's going to be the one to slow the rest of these guys down. And considering what happened on that first restart, we're going to go with this camera, or this sort of restarts, because clearly double follow restarts are not working. So as we can see, Bill Elliott slowing everyone down already. Already, guys trying to make moves. Oh my goodness. Multiple cars. Jimmy Johnson around. Multiple drivers. And already on the restart, we have some wrecks. Bill Elliott, I'm pretty sure, was checking the field up a little bit there. So, yep, you can see here the others trying to get ahead. Jimmy moves him out of the way, and Bush tried to make a move under Jimmy, not enough room. Jimmy goes around, so does Chase Elliott, and multiple others. Let's keep the cameras on Jimmy Johnson. So we can see he gets turned around. In front of the field, Denny took some damage, so did Christopher Bell. Let's ride on board with one of these guys. So we're gonna go on board with Chase Elliott. He was one of the guys that got involved. So we can see here he was bump drafting the 8. The 8 tried to go to the outside. He bumped the 8. That caused him to get loose. He bumped into the 48, and from there, Chase's day has to be done. A very disappointing start for many of these drivers. And I think the main cause for that is simply just being too aggressive. So let's go ahead and get a view from one of the other guys who was involved. It was somewhere back here. Yeah, Ryan Blaney in the number 21. He already has damage from that. So you can see here the graph is not blue. So you can't see where there's no looks in the chest yet. What a disappointing race. That is such a disappointment for these guys. So adding to the list of DNFs, I believe the 25 is going to be out of this race. The 21 is for sure done. It seems like the 48 is going to continue. Yep, he is. So well, we haven't gotten everything settled yet, so what is going on? Guys, what? I am very confused as to what the AI is doing here. They just all decided to jumble up for some reason. Oh, hopefully no one got any damage from that. Yep, there it is. The 25 officially is done. So is the 21. Oh, so is the 11. The 11 is also out of this race. So 21 of the 33 cars remain. Pace car is coming off the track. And here we go, coming back to the green flag, this time by velocity leads the field to the green. Kosovar immediately to the outside with help from Mark Martin. Ready for here as they enter turn 1. Bill Elliott already slowing some of these guys down. Let's see if this is going to cause a mess. Truex trying to move him out of the way. Is this going to cause a wreck? These guys are being so aggressive. They've seen the consequences of what is going to happen if they wreck. Earnhardt gets aggressive. Earnhardt into the wall. Someone's in the grass. Oh, Clint Bowyer. He's spinning out. And the caution is gonna come out. Clint Bowyer got spun. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he and Richard Petty got together. So we can see here they're bump drafting. Let's go to the helicopter camera. So you can see here they're drafting right now. A bit of space. Bumpers are not aligned though. And you can see Bowyer gives a shove to the 43. The bumpers aren't aligned. Richard Petty spins around, takes out Clint Bowyer as he's coming back up the track, and just nothing else that these two could have done. Once the wreck happened, there was just nothing that they could do to change things around. They were just in for the ride. So now let's ride on board with Richard Petty here. Or actually, we'll ride on board with Clint Bowyer first. So let's see from both perspectives of what happened. So you can see here, Richard Petty and Clint Bowyer, they have some space. Sorry, here. So let's see this wreck from Richard Petty's perspective. So let's go to the rear chase camera. See what was going on here. Had a very good race going, but unfortunately that race is over for those two guys. Richard Petty, I believe, is going to retire from the race. In 94 and the 22 both retired. What is going on here? For some reason they're wrecking under caution. What just happened? What? Guys, why are we wrecking under caution? Okay, so these guys are catching up to the pace car. Suarez here, Ultra just bumps him for some reason, spins him around. Larson just... Okay, I am very confused, but that is going to have to be a penalty for 15. I mean, these two hadn't into any wrecks yet, so the fact that they're wrecking each other is a bit surprising. But yeah, anyway, other than the 94 and the 22, the 43, the 48, and the 3 have all retired. The guys who were in the wreck were the 43 and the 33, but the 33 is going to continue despite that damage, so let's figure out where he is. Yep, he's right there. He has some damage, as you can see. The hood is a bit lifted off of the car. Yeah, he doesn't really have too much damage. Yeah, the right side doesn't seem to be too badly damaged, so he could still be quite competitive for the win. Who knows? Brad Keselowski is taking some damage. The 9, I think, is taking some damage. The 14. Okay, so Mark Martin's going to be at the back. Tyler Reddick just in front of them. Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski with a bit of damage. Doesn't seem to be that bad, but still damage that could slow him down. The 33 of Clint Boyer, the 9 of Casey Kane. I think he's taken some damage, I can't remember. The 14 of Tony Stewart, the 8 of Kyle Busch, part of that earlier incident with Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson. The 18, Bobby Labonte. Christopher Bell, I think he's taken some damage. 97, Kurt Busch. Martin Truex Jr. in the 78, Kyle Larson, rear end damage. Could slow him down, so... Oh wait, the 97 also has damage, so the 78 is between two damaged cars, so he's going to have to be very careful about how he approaches this restart. The 15, who has a penalty after spinning the 77 under caution. The 77 was clean until he got spun by the 15 of Michael Waltrip, so we'll have to see if that affects his race car. And finally, Rusty Wallace, who's so far been pretty clean throughout this entire race. But he's got the number 77 right behind him, and the 77 is very aggressive, and he started on the pole, so he is going to be very hungry and aggressive for this win. And pace car lights are off, so this time around the pace car is going to come off the track, and we are going back green. And we're going to have completed 16 in 40 laps. And already we've lost about half the field. So far we've had 3 different wrecks, or technically 4, with 3 cautions already in this 40 lap event. Here comes the pace car. It's going to come off right here. And now, let's watch from specifically the 78 how he approaches this restart. The green flag's back in the air. They get jumbled up a bit there. The 15 was a bit slow. We're immediately free wide, extremely aggressive here on the restart. Oh, Larson goes around. Into the grass he goes. Can they rejoin safely? Nope, and they're not going to rejoin safely. The 42 around with the 99 and the 45. Heavy damage for these guys. What on earth just happened here? Alright, so here's the 45, Kyle Larson. On the restart, a bit slower than Christopher Bell. Kurt Busch taps the 42. Oh, there's the contact. Larson goes through the grass, trying to slow the car down, and just couldn't do it. He clipped the 14, the 99, and the 45. Let's watch that from the 45's perspective, because he took some heavy damage. So here's the 45 riding at the back. Let's go to the roof camera. So you can see here, here's the 42. Goes back on the track. There's nowhere for Tyler Reddick to go. Just an innocent victim, and nothing that he could have done there. Unfortunately, a very bad push from Kurt Busch. Very ironic considering where he was. So you can see here the 20 region safely. The 42, however, did not. He went through the grass and likely had no grip. You can see that he was trying his best to slow that car down. If you saw up here, the car was slowly slowing down. But let's ride with the 42. Let's see from his perspective. Actually, let's go with the 97, who was pushing him in the first place. You can see here, Kurt gets to look very aggressive, just turning. Now on board with the 42. So you can see, when he gets you can see here up here, his speed, he's slowly slowing down. You can see he's attempting to turn the car, but just couldn't get it slowed down, and got clobbered from behind by Tyler Reddick, collected the 99 of car red words. It's just a wreck fest. So Kyle Larson is likely done for the day. And so far, we have not completed under green so far. So 45 is definitely done, so is the 42. And 99, I don't think took too much damage, so he should be fine. And let's just hope that these guys do not cause a big... Oh my goodness. Goodness, guys, what are we doing? Can we not just have a peaceful race? Okay, that's gotta be a penalty for the 20. I think he was the one who turned the 8 around. Let's go on board with him, figure out what just happened. Yep, right there, contact. That's a penalty. I mean, he already has severe damage from that. So, I mean, that was just plain old stupid. I don't even understand why he did that. I guess that's just NR 2000 free AI being AI. Yep, you can see there, got turned. But I think he's still going to continue to race. I mean, he has a lot of front-end damage, but seems like he's still going to go. And Martin Truex Jr., who almost got screwed over by being between two damaged cars, is now at the front of his field. But behind him is the 15 with heavy damage from that previous incident, and I think also had to serve a penalty. I'm not sure if he's already served that penalty. Behind them is the 2 of Rusty Wallace. He's been pretty lucky so far. Kurt Busch with rear end damage. Missing an entire rear bumper. The 18, Bobby Labonte. The 9 of Casey Kane. The 60 of Brad Keselowski, involved in the first incident. The 8 of Bush, who was involved in that wrecking caution. 20 of Bell. 77 Carson Hocevar. 33 of Clint Boyer. The 6 of Mark Martin. The 9 of Carl Edwards. And the 14 of Tony Stewart. Those are all the guys that are still left in this race. So 14 cars remain out of 33 that started this race. So 4 different cautions have come out, and about 6 or 7 different wrecks. Pace car lights are off. And we are going back green this time by. So as we go back under green, we're going to be watching this 2 car here because he's stuck in between the 15 and the 97, who both have some pretty heavy damage. The 15, though, he has the most damage, I think, out of most of the cars in this field, other than the 20. But the 20 he's near the back. The 15's at the front. He's going to be causing the most mayhem here as we go back under green. So let's see how these guys approach the restart. So far, been very unsuccessful with restarting cleanly and not wrecking each other. But let's see, are they going to be able to restart cleanly this time? The pace car is coming off the track now. Let's go back green. Here they come into a restart zone, and green flag back in the air. We're back racing, and the 2 trying to shove the 18. The 15's slow though. He's going to go to the inside. Truex to the outside. That's going to give Rusty Wallace the green flag to go to the inside of him as they enter turn 1. And free wide, 18, the 97 and the 15 are free wide right now. The 8 and the 18 pushing. And Rusty Wallace has this lead. Let's go further back and see, is there anything happening? Carson Hocevar on the bumper of the 15. He's going to push him. And so far, clean. The 15, though, has been very slow on this restart. He's fallen all the way back from second, all the way back to the back of the field. And we can see here, the 20 and the 15 are now going to serve their penalties for wrecking others under caution. I believe it's just a stop and go for them. The 14 at the back, the 9. So those 2 are going to be bump drafting each other. Going to try to get to the front again. 33 and the 6, also going to be helping each other probably. The 77, all by himself, but he's going to have help from the 6 and the 33 when they come by. 99 all by himself, the 97, and they're free wide here. Bonnie on the outside, Keselowski in the middle, and Bush on the inside, and they get things sorted out. And now back to the front where Rusty Wallace has the lead over Martin Truex Jr. Bush leading this pack of cars. And here come the others. The 6 of Brad Keselowski with a push from the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards are coming into the mix. Keselowski with the side draft. That's going to slow them down, and here comes the 20. 20, slow car. And now we have train of cars here. 99, the 97, the 18, the 8, and the 60. These guys are going to be working together to try and catch up to the 2 and the 78, who I believe are up here, all the way at the end of the Daytona backstretch. And here come the others now. They split up a bit. The 8 gets shuffled out by the 18 of Bobby Labonte. He's going to try to rejoin, but he successfully rejoins. Now the 78, he's gonna have to catch up to the 2 car, because if he doesn't, the others are going to have an advantage because they are able to save fuel while driving at the same speed, because they're bump drafting, or never mind, they're no longer bump drafting. The 8 and the 18, however, are still working together. The 20 trying to get a draft from the 99 so that he can save some fuel. The 8 goes to the inside of the 18. I think he moved him out of the way. He wants to go to the front. And we got pit stops. The 60 and the 8 are coming in. This could be fuel. We're not exactly sure the reason. We have 15 laps to go in this race. So pitting here doesn't exactly make much sense, especially since we just had a caution. But who knows, they might have a strategy. They might be working together to save fuel, because under caution, or when they're fuel saving, they can go about 10 laps maybe. So this could be in the hopes of a caution that will allow them to save more fuel. The 60, he's going to come out. The 6, the 77, the 33, and here comes the 20. 8 coming off of pit road, the 78 and the 2 making their pit stops. There's the 18, the 97 making up stop, the 9, the 14, the 99, and let's see what the 15 does. Stays out. Here's the 60. Now, this could be a fuel strategy, but it doesn't make much sense because a full fuel tank should last them about 9 laps. And we have well over 10 laps to go in this race. So this could just be them and everyone hoping that a caution comes out. Because if a caution comes out, they will be able to save much more fuel. The 15 currently a lap down. So let's see, who is the leader this time by when the scoreboard updates? I believe it's going to be the 60. No, it's the 2. The 2 is the leader. And the 78 gets to his inside. Can the 78 complete the pass? Because if he doesn't, that means the 60 is going to have an advantage. Because currently they're slowing each other down and wasting each other's resources by side drafting like this. The 2, I think he's going to give in. He's going to give in, yep. He does. He's going to drop back, and he's going to go behind him. Now, the strategy here for these two is they're going to have to work together to save fuel and bump draft. So let's see how that goes. Here's the 15, and the 99 currently 2 laps down. The 8 in 12th place. Here's the 99, I think has an issue of some sort. What is going on? Where's the 99? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the 99 right now. But so far, the fastest lap of the race goes to the 2 car with a lap time of 45.479. Let's find the leaders, and the 2 has gotten to the inside of the 78 as they enter turn 3. Now, the inside line at this track is the dominance line. As you can see here, the 78 immediately tries falling back, because he knows that by staying on the side of the 2, he's just gonna slow them both down. They have to work together here. However, it's also a race, so it's either they work together and one of them loses, or they try to compete with each other and they both end up losing due to fuel. Now, these guys all, I think, have one pit stop left to complete. 99, 4 laps down now. 15's gone a lap down. I think he's made a pit stop. Could be a pit strategy of some sort, or maybe a mechanical issue. 99, however, I think he's got an issue, because he's now 5 laps down. Here's a 20, he's now lapped. So we've got pit stops here. These guys should all have the fuel to make it to the end. A full tank of fuel should last them about 9 laps if they're pushing. And here comes the 78 to the inside of the 2 as they enter turn 3. These 2 have been fighting for the past couple of laps, and neither one of them wants to give in. And the 78's going to lead this lap as they enter the tri-oval. The 2 falls back. He's going to go right behind him. This race, it's between these 2. There's the 60 entering turn 1. But these guys, they're already coming out of turn 2. Brad's still in turn 1 and 2. Here he is coming off of turn 2 now. 2-second lead over third place. But let's see, do they keep that lead? The 2-car into a stall. And I believe it's going to be fuel only for these two guys. Yep, they're both exiting their pit stalls. There's the 18 into his pit stall. He joined pit road way later than the 2 did. Is a caution. A caution might be good for Truex because that would end the race. Because remember, there are no green-white checkers. If the race ends under caution, it ends under caution. So let's see. Can the 2 catch back up to the 78? Let's see the intervals here this time by. 78 to the flag, or to the line. So the 2 is catching up. He gained about 1/100th of a second on Truex here. But that lead, it's just too big. Rusty is going to have to push as hard as he can. And he's going to have to hope that he can get the draft of the 78 as soon as possible. Because if he doesn't, that 78 has the win in the bag. And the 60 has fallen all the way back to 11 seconds off the lead. Truex, heavy damage. Rusty got into it. The leaders, who both had this race in the bag, are wrecked. What on earth just happened? It was Tony Stewart with a terrible push from Carl Edwards. These two were working together. What on earth happened here? It started all the way back here. So you can see Carl Edwards, he's pushing the number 14 Office Depot Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Tony Stewart. You can see here, just all around the Edwards. and Tony just gets annihilated by the oncoming traffic of Martin Truex Jr. and Rusty Wallace. Heavy, heavy damage for these guys. It's right on board with the 78 here on TV camera 2. Truex enters turn 1 and he's slowing down and gets clipped and then hit by the 2. So both of these guys, heavy, heavy damage to the front end of their cars. Both of their days are likely done, and that is going to end the race under caution, with the 60 taking home the checkered flag. Despite being 10 seconds behind the leader, the 60 of Brad Keselowski steals the race. He steals the win. What a finish. The one thing that these guys did not want to see, the 78 and the 2. The one thing that they did not want, a caution. Or the one thing that they actually did want, which was a caution. The only thing about that caution, though, was they didn't want to be a part of it. Unfortunately, they were. So let's ride again on board with the 14 from TV camera 1. Oh, these guys were loose already entering the tri-oval. So Stewart was blocking the 99 of Carl Edwards very aggressively. And as they enter turn 1, it just completely went bad for these guys, and then hard hit for the 14 there. So a very unfortunate end to the race for these guys. So Carl Edwards, 14th place, Tony Stewart 13th, Michael Waltrip 12th, Rusty Wallace 11th. Martin Truex Jr. comes home with a 10th place finish. After these two pretty much dominated that race, unfortunately, they finished near the back. Clint Bowyer, 9th place, 8 seconds off the lead. Casey Kane, 8th. Kyle Busch, 7th. Mark Martin in 6th. Carson Hocevar, the pole sitter, 5th. Christopher Bell, 4th. Kurt Busch, 3rd. Bobby Labonte in 2nd. And Brad Keselowski steals the win. What a race. And unfortunately for these guys who all wrecked out early, Matt Kenseth, Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Chase Elliott, Brian Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Bill Elliott, Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Sr., Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson. All these guys wrecked out early. Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart, they all got wrecked in that incident. They were lapped cars. Rusty Wallace and Martin Truex Jr., both of the fastest cars, I think, during that race, they both got wrecked at the end. And unfortunately for them, it's going to be Brad Keselowski who XL win at Daytona. And wow, what a race. I just realized I forgot to save the race. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure to join me again on Monday. The time will be announced. for the World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Right here again on the Team Blah YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you very